From Menards doors to my truck.
Yeah, I was on the bike. I was really helpful.
Sounds like zero fun.
Yeah.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'll call our city commission meeting to order at 7 PM, October 6th, 2025. We've got Commissioner Ralston and Iverson present. I believe Stephen, yep, I see him. Stephen's joined us remotely, so we do have a quorum, so we can get right into the agenda. So we'll start with our Pledge of Allegiance. The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so first up, we've got our minutes. They were the special commission meeting minutes for September 10th, the public hearing from September 15th, the regular commission meeting minutes from September 15th, and then another special meeting from September 22nd. Do you guys have a chance to look at those? And if everything looks great, we'll need a motion to approve them as written.
Make a motion to approve as posted. I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve all of those minutes as posted. We'll move to a vote.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Yes.
Thanks, Stephen. All right, commissioners report. Go ahead, Kyle.
I don't have a whole lot. We did take delivery with our vac trailer, earlier this week, from RDO. The guys got a tutorial on that, how to winterize it, the whole 9 yards. It's about the only thing on that regard. I did get a temporary street closure, permit, I guess. So starting tomorrow through Saturday from 7 AM to 5 PM, First Street and between First and Second on Willow Street here over by the museum right here. This will be closed due to dirt work and construction by Elmer's. Just a little detour going on, but just so they can get the dirt brought in. So I got them. Nothing for me. Pretty quiet.
Stephen, do you got anything?
I don't have anything at this time, so just been pretty quiet.
Okay. Stephen, Kyle, good job on getting Mrs. Vetch's water line repaired. It sure looked like the initial or original install definitely wasn't up to par. So hopefully that piece of property, the freezing issues are long behind us. For me, been spending more time down at the community center. You know, we onboarded Joy this last week. October 1st was her first day. So there's a lot there, big building. She's kind of learning the ropes and doing a great job. Been working with Liz a little bit on a couple matters, and then Mr. Larson as well. I would, while I have my little spot, just to acknowledge, I don't know if you guys are aware, but we've obviously been a little shorthanded at the community center. And Dan and Shani have been filling all of those gaps for us to keep the building open. So pretty awesome that we have some folks in our team that are willing to go outside of their normal routine just to help other entities stay open. It's pretty great. I appreciate it. It's just awesome. Other than that, I think we can move on to the agenda. There is a couple, well, one deletion, one addition I'd like to make. So number 2, the community center update. Burton wasn't able to make it today, so we'll put him on the next meeting for the community center. And then interim chief Helene would like to talk about a bill, a 1% deal. Okay, so we'll scratch off number 2 and then move everything down. And then on new business, interim chief Helene will be number 8.
Make a motion to approve the agenda with the modifications of scratching number 2 and putting the 1% down at new business number 8. I second that.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the modified agenda. Any discussion on that? Stephen, you're good?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right, we'll move to a vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Yes.
All right, old business, legal, Liz.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
All righty. Like Kyle and Jaden and Steven, I think I'm going to be pretty quick. As Brett referenced, we've had a few projects, been working pretty hard. Most of that, I guess, is not totally available for an update. I don't know how to say that. I'll have another deposition in that lawsuit this week. We've had a number of projects, I think. I mean, I know that actually. It's just that they're not really susceptible updating or to updating at this point. I did want to say I'm aware, even outside of the work I've been doing with Brett. I've done quite a bit of work with Wendy too. I do want to extend a thank you to Wendy. She's really taken the bull by the horns. She's been very self-directing. She's become highly aware of different procedures. And that makes my plate a lot easier to carry. So I know she's pretty quiet, but she's doing a lot of good work. And I will say that I actually had. Oh, are you there? Sorry, I heard something cut in.
Yeah, we can still hear you. I think someone had their mic unmuted.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, sorry, I just didn't want to interrupt. In any case, I've been handed compliments of all the members in City Hall privately. And I've in particular received a couple of late regarding Wendy. She's done a really good job in that department and the staff seem to be following suit. So I don't know, it's nice for me to hear nice things about public interaction with the city. I'm always glad to hear that. As to the deposition this week, I will likely have an update. That will be the deposition of Abby Salinas. That will be on Wednesday, the 8th. And I think we're rocking and rolling, doing quite well. Looking at the agenda tonight, if there are any discussion questions regarding the Annabelle lots or the Colbert property, I'll be happy to, jump in where may be helpful. I will also say, in addition to the compliments of Wendy and all the hard work of Brett's been working on a lot of projects over the last many months. I know that there's also been a lot of work and interview process involving several commissioners. I don't always know that the public knows how much time you guys spend, but I do, and I appreciate it. I know those are tasks that are taken very seriously and they're very beneficial to the city. So that's all I have. It's nice to have a little bit of quiet time behind the scenes to get some work done. So I'm not complaining, and that's all I have to share tonight.
Okay, guys, you got questions for Liz? All right, we're moving on. Number 2, the Annabelle lots. Dan, I don't know if you wanted to present anything on these two. It would be really helpful. I can kind of muddle my way through it, but you're the expert here.
Is this,
It doesn't work, but
oh,
that'll pick you up.
okay, yeah, no, we had, before I think we had presented before a month ago or whatever, some opportunities up there in the Annabelle addition on our city-owned lots or lot parcel on the east side of Elm Street. We had engaged with Josh Reiner. They had done some earlier work a year or so earlier when they were looking at doing some parceling off for senior housing, but that seemed to fall through the cracks, or not the cracks, but just the contractor didn't follow through. So anyway, we were looking at parceling that off to fit that larger lots for that area because everything else is so small, and kind of a view of to the east there to have larger lots there, probably about a half acre approximately for each lot. In the proposal that you have in front of you there's a change or an addition to that or to the size of the lot, is adding basically a lot to the north of what's already been parceled out there. So part of that lot, that north lot, there is about 45 feet added to that north lot. And also on the west side of Elm, next to the house that's being constructed, and just to the north of that, there is a lot that was city-owned. It was, I think Annabelle had given that to the city in their project for, I'm assuming for a park or playground area or something like that. It was parceled as a 70-foot by 70-foot. So we just made it to be 100-foot, equal to the existing lots in depth, 100 feet deep, and then by about 100 feet or 105 feet in length to the north. So that's, everything seems to line up as good as possible with the existing utilities that are already over there. It'll be just, you know, with the electrical boxes that are there, and the hydrant. The south lot, the very south one, would be somewhat unique in the sense that the electric utility box and a street light pole, which can easily be moved. But then also there's a hydrant in that lot also that could be capped. That's back into the thing, but that can be a discussion for a later time.
So you're looking for approval to pursue option 2C as the concept.
As I think there was, I can't remember what you had there for options.
2B, that was 7 lots, and then 2C was the 8 lots with the one to the
Yeah,
north.
so it'd be 2C, the option 2C would be what we'd be looking for, what I'm looking for, recommending for us plat to be created.
All right, fellas, what do you think?
Real quick, Dan, just to make sure, I think I'm following. I looked at this. The only difference between 2B and 2C is just that 2C has that additional north lot, right? It looks like a northwest lot that was already city owned. So it's basically an additional quarter-acre lot. That's the only difference. The other size of the lots and any infrastructure that may need to be moved or changed, that didn't change between options, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Oh, okay, perfect. I just wanted to confirm that. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, I guess I make a motion that we proceed with the surveyor in regards to option 2C with the 8 lots.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the surveyor to go after option 2C, correct? Any discussion on that?
Well, I got a question. So the surveyor's gonna go for that, and then that's what it's gonna be, and then we're gonna sell these lots, right?
That would be that was the talk, I guess, or the opportunity was to put them up for auction. I know there's a process for that. Liz, I'm sure, would be able to give guidance on that when that time comes.
That'll probably be something further in the future, right? This
That
is
would be-
just gonna be approval for
I
the surveyor to,
Well, within a year, probably thinking this spring or something like that.
Yeah, I think Jaden, just so you know, the only holdback that the commission will decide whether or not to sell, that's completely the prerogative of the board. But I think the weight that Dan's discussing is that the plat, once the engineer adjusts this plat and does a preliminary plat, there's a process for recording that essentially. And that's kind of beyond our control. So that goes through the county for approval. And once that's done and those lots are platted, the commission can do whatever it wishes in whole or in part with those replatted lots.
Of the road. So when we're running water and sewer, would we stay on the east side of the road? Or would we have to dig up the street?
I would anticipate we may, well, again, I think that will be where the city engineer and the water department would have to do some exploring. But there's no, well, I guess I don't know, but the presumption is right now in talking with Kurt and the water department is, yes, we would have to dig into the street for water and sewer to supply to those things. Yes, there is water on the east side because of those hydrants. You know, can one tap into that and service, you know, from the north hydrant and the south hydrant? I don't know. You know, and be able to still be within the right of way without digging into the street.
Mhm.
But there's probably going to have to be digging into the street for sure with the sewer.
And that's the one we were talking about, just doing it all at once, make everything buy ready. What, that was a couple months ago now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other questions? Okay, we still have that motion in a second to approve the surveyors to go after option 2C. Move to a vote?
Yes.
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 Okay, motion carries. All right, now on to number 3, the culvert property. Kind of the same story here, guys. Dan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but pull it up. We're just looking for approval to have interstate engineering survey that little section of land that would lead to the south side of the railroad track, city park, and then also potentially a housing development to the northeast. So we've got that potential tract of land that separates culverts and Odegaards, but it's technically still culverts, so we would like to get our hands on it, and step one would be getting it surveyed, getting a final plat done, so we can have a legal description to make an offer. So that looks like $2,500.
For the survey or the planning of that, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, he sent the quote in for estimate.
All right, so if you guys agree, we'll just need a motion to approve the proposal from Interstate Engineering.
I make a motion to approve the proposal from Interstate Engineering in the amount of $2,500.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the proposal from Interstate Engineering in the amount of $2,500. Any questions on that? Okay, we'll move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Motion carries. All right, on to new business, number 4, that's the airport board. We've got a couple letters of interest. I'm hoping, guessing you guys read both of them. And if you have any thoughts. You guys have seen both of them, correct? Yeah. All right, doesn't sound like we have anything to take action on, so we're moving on. All right, new business number 5, Economic Development Director. We get to meet a new guy.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josh Moffel. Just going to give a little background about me and then kind of move into some key points that I want to touch on, and then we can end from there. I was raised in Valley City, North Dakota. My roots run deep in agriculture, growing up on my family's cattle operation. It taught me the value of hard work, perseverance, and building something meaningful for the future. Those early lessons shaped who I am today. and continue to drive my passion for community, agriculture, and entrepreneurship. I went to North Dakota State University, and since then I've had the opportunity to work within several different industries and help out in such, from international business development to workforce to real estate and hospitality. Most recently, I've helped with companies in the energy, agriculture, and workforce, while also helping develop marketing strategies and community housing. Along the way, I've been fortunate to serve in leadership roles, including the president of the American Junior Shorthorn Association, the North Dakota Junior Point Show Association, and vice president of the Simmental Board. Each of these experiences have strengthened my belief in collaboration and the power of working together to a shared vision. When the opportunity came to step into this role in Tioga, I felt like it was the right place at the right time. With my family's roots in Western North Dakota and my own passion for rural communities, I'm excited to help build Tioga on its strengths of oil and energy, while also exploring new opportunities that connect our energy sector, agriculture, and local businesses. My goal is simple, is to have Tioga thrive, not only as an energy leader, but as a welcoming place where families and businesses can grow and succeed. Together with the EDC board, city officials, and all of the community, I know we can build something lasting for Tioga's future. A couple of the key things in the first week that I've been here, and I've been walking around talking to the community people, is one thing that Liz touched on was the collaboration between the city officials with community members. I've only heard great things. So that makes me excited to step into this role, implement things with the EDC, chamber, and city officials. I think that's very exciting. The Tioga EDC is meant to improve the economy in Tioga and surrounding areas. So we have 6 values on our website posted, and I read those last week and today, and they are firm. And if you guys can all check them out, I think that they're a proven stance of how we want to shape the continuing future for the community. I came up with a couple different things, but then I realized that maybe the next meeting we'll go over some more in depth of things. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with everything right now. I'm excited for the opportunity and to work closely with you guys and local community business owners and go from there. So there we go.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Right there is a hand raised on the TV.
Is it?
It's me, Brett Jeffrey. Can we go back to the airport for a second, or do you want to do that at the end?
Oh, we can do it at the end in the public comment.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Kyle, you can take this one if you would like, or I can just kind of shoot from the hip here, but I believe you got a step increase proposal, recommendation.
Yeah, there's a step increase for Kirk Odegaard. He's the street water superintendent. He's been doing fantastic. So he's due for a step increase.
Okay, and that would take effect October 16th.
Correct. Yep. So I make a motion to approve the step increase for Kirk Odegaard.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the step increase for Kirk Odegaard. Any discussion on that? Well deserved. Okay, we'll move to a vote.
Yes.
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 Okay, motion carries. All right, and then we've got an open position. This is approval to advertise for the PD. Cody, I might need your help on this one, being that you're the interim chief. So I think long story short, we know we're really shorthanded in the PD right now. And Cody and Joel are burning the candle at both ends.
Correct.
So we are looking to advertise as a position for the PD. What we quantify that position as, I don't know yet. As you know, as everybody knows, we're going through the vetting process for the chief of police on a permanent basis, and I would really, really, really like the direction of that person to help kind of fill the description on what we want to advertise for, because it's one thing to advertise for a patrol officer and a detective and a sergeant and I don't know all the rules. Like, can you have more than one sergeant? I don't know.
I mean, in a small department, I wouldn't recommend it. I think one sergeant would be sufficient enough. But we do, in our department, we do technically have an opening for patrol officer or detective right now. Fully staffed, we sit at 6. Right now, we have 2 on medical leave. One new officer that just started 2 weeks ago, and then still me and the canine officer, Joe. So we have 1 open spot, so it depends on what you guys want to go. You probably can get more qualified applicants if we do a detective position. It might get more experienced people saying, hey, that looks intriguing, I want to go for that. So we could touch base on that again in the future, but I'd say right now, I'd advertise for a patrol spot, maybe detective, and kind of, it's a hybrid role to begin with anyways. So I'd say if they were qualified for detective, maybe that's something we could all meet and talk with each other. But I would just advertise right now as probably just a patrol officer.
Okay, and then they would be dependent on experience sort of thing.
Yep, depending on the step, scale and experience. So I would say, yeah, listed as DOE, depending on experience.
Okay, guys, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with doing that. I mean, we have to progress, since we do have an open spot, so.
Correct.
I make a motion to approve the open position, for advertising for the PD for, patrol officer. Depending upon experience, I guess.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the advertisement for a patrol officer. Any questions on that? Okay, we'll move to a vote.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. And since you're here,
Yeah.
tell me about this 1%.
So we originally got a grant for 2 new squad cars, 2 2025 Explorers. I got the quote back. We were $3,308.22 over. The original quote was for around 14,000. It came back to be, let me pull it up on my email here, $17,478. I was told to kind of expect this when I stepped into this interim role. The general quote isn't always super accurate. There are some things that we had to add, some things we had to take off. The previous chief did installation of graphics himself, but we actually had Henry from Heck Built do them because I'm not good enough to add graphics. I don't want to screw up a squad car. So we actually had Henry do the graphics. So it's just things like that. And then we decommissioned the old K9 unit and brought a lot of that stuff out into the new unit. So he had to decommission one unit and add it to the next unit. So that kind of upped our price a little bit, more than just taking stuff out of the box. So I talked to 1%. They said that they kind of expected this. So I'm asking to take $3,308.32 to 1% for approval for the rest of the bill.
make a motion, you can go to, 1% for the additional fees for the squad car.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve interim chief Helene to go to the 1% for these additional charges for outfitting this squad car. Any discussion? Okay, we'll move to a vote.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thanks, sir. All right, on to the consent agenda. We got bills for October, the August financials, payroll from September 19th and October 3rd, the pledge holdings for September at the Bank of Tioga, and then a special event liquor permit for the Rig Lounge and a raffle permit for the Northwest Sportsman Association.
make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on that? All right, we'll move to a vote.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, we are on to public comment. Jeff, Mo, are you still there?
Sure am. I guess I just got one question, hold on quickly. I've got my kids coming in. Just hold on. Sorry. Anyway, is there a reason why you guys don't want to fill that board position with 2 candidates? Because I need to give, my board an answer on why it wasn't filled when we had two qualified candidates put in for it. So I'm just wondering. It'd be nice to have a full board again, especially going into towards the end of the year.
Well, I don't get to make motions, so I don't get to talk about that, but what I can say is I haven't had the opportunity to personally call each one of those candidates and feel them out so I can make my recommendation.
Okay.
So where I'm at with it is, I mean, there's really only one candidate. That one candidate that's just not gonna happen. It's not my opinion, so. But as far as the other one goes, I just don't really quite know how I feel about someone being paid by the board, sitting on the board. So that's why I'm not sure yet how I feel about that.
He is your part-time worker, correct, Jeff?
Correct. Yes.
How do you feel about having someone on the board approving their timesheets and paychecks?
Well, he wouldn't be a part-time employee if he's a board member. And we would have to continue to advertise for that part-time position, which we've gotten one, which was him.
And I think that would
Okay.
be one of those things that we would figure out during the vetting process, right?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. And if that's the, your guys' answer, that's all I need to go to the board with at our next meeting, because the board was aware of having two people in, and we were kind of expecting to have a fifth board member. So, is there a way that we could get a motion to re-advertise for that?
Liz, how does that work? We're on the public comment portion of the agenda. Can we circle back?
I don't know that I think I don't love the idea of making a motion during the reserved public comment period. I think Jeff's made the request. It could be considered at the next meeting. The other thing, and it's dangerous to shoot from the hip, but I'm gonna anyway, maybe somebody knows the answer. But wasn't that advertised was there a deadline for submission of application, or was that advertised as open till filled? Do we know? The airport seat?
I didn't advertise it. Wendy would be the one that would know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. And I think that we should look that up, Jeff, because number one, I think Brett's asking a procedural question and I'm asking a substantive one. I think I can answer the procedural one. My view of the commission attempting to make a motion unnoticed on topic matter, which they've all decided they haven't appropriately vetted or had an opportunity to consider. That would be a bad idea and procedurally unfounded. If they're going to be doing motions business, they need to be doing it probably during old business or new business on the agenda. It was fair for you to request it. That could be considered on the next agenda. And I imagine it will be, as noted here. But I guess the substantive question related to that one is, what did the old advertisement say? I'm sure Wendy could pull that for us, probably not this second, and we could see if advertising is even necessary. I don't know what the old advertisement said. If it was open till filled and there wasn't a deadline, then you may not need to advertise. If we need to advertise again, then the commission could take that up under old business at another meeting.
And yeah, that's fine. I just want to make sure that we're advertising. If it is until filled, then that's great.
It did have a deadline,
It did have a deadline.
the 20th.
Oh, Jeff, did you catch that? It did have a
I did.
deadline of the 20th.
Yeah, I did. So, okay, well, hopefully we can get that on the next agenda to advertise then.
Okay, and if you remember correctly, last time you were here presenting, you asked if you wanted, or if we wanted you to give your opinion on these candidates. So I'm a little miffed that you're not here tonight, giving your opinion on who you would recommend. But just keep that in mind at the next one, if you could be here, and we want to hear from you.
I agree. I had to be home to watch my kids. Emily's not here, so I don't have anybody watching my kids, so.
Understood. Okay. Anybody have anything else? Anything to the agenda? Crickets. Okay, we'll need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to adjourn. We'll move to a vote.
Yes.
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 All right, motion carries and we are adjourned at 7:35 PM.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.